because it's real good. It's real good, especially about halfway through.
Yeah, because you mentioned it last episode, and I mentioned that I hadn't seen it yet show up, but so it's on there now.
Yeah. It's real good. It's I better show than Breaking Bad as far as I'm concerned, and it's not close. I don't think.
Really,
it's really good. It's really good.
So just to be clear, you're saying that Better Call Saul is a better show than Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Like the everything. Okay.
Absolutely, I am. Yep. I'm going out on a limb, but I think the writing, I think the acting, I think the story, I think the whole thing. I think it's a better show overall. Now I'm biased, admittedly, because I'm a law talking guy, and so is Saul. So that's part of it for sure. But I think I do think it's just I think it's objectively better. But
okay,
maybe not.
All right. I mean, I will tell you that the seasons I have seen, the shows I've seen are very good.
Yeah.
Like the episodes I've seen. So
the fact that the actress who played Kim never won an Emmy is a travesty, an absolute travesty. She's fantastic. So.
Cool.
Right. So what that means is it's now time for us to take a quick trip back to the week of April 1st, 2014, and see what was going on in popular culture at the time.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
We did. And this week, our number one movie is another new one. We have another number one new movie this week. Noah. This is the Russell Crowe Noah movie about, Noah and the Ark and the flood and the whole thing. Which again, arguably Christian themed. Again, we're in that time of year where the Christian themed movies do well in movie theaters around Easter, but not the typical Christian movie where it's like the small production company that does exclusively Christian content or whatever. This is a mainstream movie, mainstream studio. And it grossed $55 million, number one this week, in April 1, 2014, which is pretty good. Divergent holds at number two with $32 million for 101 total. That one's grossed over $100 million in 2 weeks. That's really good for that. The one that I thought was really interesting, it premiered on 7 screens this week in 2014. The Raid 2. Grossed $220K, maybe the best action movie ever made. So if you haven't seen it, go look at it. It's real good also. But grossed $220K in its first week on 7 screens. So
may even be better than the first one.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah. It's a real good movie. Fantastic action film. So, and then our number one top 40 song remains the same this week. Happy for its 5th week, although All of Me remains at number 2. The John Legend song remains at number 2, kind of stalking Happy, waiting for that moment when Pharrell Williams is not paying attention, so it can jump in and take over. We'll see if that happens next week. I don't think it will, but and then our Florida man story of the week. More of a Florida woman story this week. And it was a no-brainer once I saw this one. I had no choice but to take this one. April 1, 2015. So this is a year after the episode aired, but around the same time. Police. Woman, 26, removed bikini top in cafe, fondled breasts, and tugged on her nipple ring. And we have some social media pictures of Ms. Jacqueline Glover, 26. She got locked up on felony lewdness charges after she removed her bikini top in a beachside cafe and began groping her breasts, quote, in a sexual nature, while also, quote, tugging on her nipple ring, cops allege. So apparently she's at a restaurant. She was in line at a restaurant when she removed her bathing suit top and exposed her breasts to all restaurant patrons, walking around the cafe, groping herself. She subsequently covered herself after being approached by restaurant workers. She was also charged with disorderly conduct because she was being belligerent, using vulgar language, and causing a disturbance. I'm guessing there may have been alcohol or drugs involved in the situation. And
you think?
Yeah, just a guess. She got arrested, held in lieu of a $7,600 bond. So who knows how long she sat in the can for that. That seems a little unreasonable, but yeah. So in a March 26th, so this was 5 days before this happened, Facebook post, a bikini-clad Glover is seen poolside atop the shoulders of a male acquaintance. Quote, LOL, was Def having a lot of fun, and 3 bottles of wine later, the pool didn't seem so cold, she commented.
Oh,
so she's a party girl.
Yeah.
There's this shot of her lounging on like a floaty in a pool or whatever. And you can see like her leg between her kind of upper thigh and her knee on the outside. Okay. She's got this bruise the size of a dollar bill. This big, deep, dark bruise in this post social media print. So yeah, sometimes you can tell that they're party girls. But yeah, so that's Jacqueline Glover. I'm not sure if you can still find her on social media or not, but yeah, so.
It's probably on the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, so she's probably 33 now. She's probably got kids for all we know, if she's not locked up. Could be both, actually. I suppose. Is Florida.
I don't know like maybe there should be like a great reset where every computer record of everything is just like nuked,
That would be really nice for the people who came of age in the internet age before everybody knew all the lessons, like don't do this and don't do that because that's going to stick with you forever. That would be really nice. Like like the like at the end of Fight Club, right? That's what you're talking about. We just destroy all the records like it never happened.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that gets us through our trip back to the week of April 1, 2014. So let's get into the episode. We open up with this tight shot, cold open tight shot. It's unusual for the show, but it really works well. Wynn's being interviewed, and we don't know at first we don't know who he's being interviewed by, and he's explaining that Boyd is dead by his hand after blowing up Picker. And then we see that it's Alberto, the fella from the cartel, and he's looking for Boyd, and he wants to skin Boyd, actually, is what they said. That's their new thing, is they take the skin, because Wynn was apologizing, saying, hey, if I'd known you guys wanted him, I would have, got some teeth or something for you. And they said, oh, no, we take the skin now. And that creeps Wynn out big time to see his reaction to that. And then there's a moment where Wynn's explaining, hey, look, Boyd's dead. I killed him. He blew up Picker. I then shot him. He's dead. That's how it works. And Alberto talks to his guy and says, hey, go to the car and get the machete. And Wynn's like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe I can help you find Daryl Crowe if that's what you're interested in. And they're like, oh yeah, we'd be interested in that. So find him by this evening.
Sundown. That's what it
was. And so Wynn immediately calls Boyd and says, hey, you need to come back. I just saw Alberto. And so Boyd goes back. They have a conversation. He sits down. There's this moment where Boyd comes into the Winnebago and he sits down on the couch, and Wynn's talking to him, and then he sits down next to him and puts his arm around him. On the back of the couch, and he's like uncomfortably close. Like they're on a couch and he sits down next to Boyd in the middle of the couch instead of sitting at the other end of the couch, which is where like a normal person would sit. Yeah. And puts his arm around him, and Boyd is very uncomfortable with that. It did look like Wynn was going to whack him right there, right? Yeah. If you're Boyd, you got to be thinking, oh crap, the only reason he's getting this close is so he can shoot me in the head.
Yeah.
But,
or what are you going to do? Complain to HR?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think there's an anti-harassment policy for drug dealers and murderers. Dixie Mafia. Yeah. You never know how organized the Dixie Mafia is, I suppose. they could have an HR department.
This is like the high table. There's a high table that controls all of and
you still have to fill out a W-4.
Yeah.
we need your onboarding paperwork done right away.
Yeah. And make sure you sign everything, please. Thank you.
Especially that's a confidentiality agreement. We got to make sure we get that on file.
Well, I wonder, what it is. It's like when you're out in the middle, the further away you are from where all the action is, the less stringent they are with the reporting requirements.
Exactly.
So, the middle of Lexington, you don't need any of that.
Nope. So while they're there talking about this, and Wynn is explaining to Boyd that, hey, yeah, I got you off the hook. I told him you were dead, but then I also promised him that I'm going to deliver Daryl Crowe, and I need you to help me do that. Boyd's like, oh, great. So we're both dead. Which is when the marshals walk in. And the marshals come in and basically explain that their plan is to be cops. And they are going to go full cop on Boyd, Wynn, and Ava. And so they're going to not ignore their little minor violations of the law anymore. So Wynn's plates are expired. They're going to tow the Winnebago. His business, his security business, has some back taxes. The IRS got involved in that. Raylan says he's pulling Boyd's file also, and talks about the grand jury. And ultimately, all they want is Daryl Crowe. They're going to continue to mess up all of their lives until they get Daryl Crowe for the shooting of Art. And so there's a significant incentive for Wynn and Boyd to try to cooperate as much as they can, because it gets rid of the cartel, it gets rid of Daryl Crowe, and it gets rid of the Marshall problem that they're currently experiencing.
I think that's a theme throughout this episode, as far as how hard they're pressing all the buttons, like at least how the marshals are, and you see that through this whole episode. Ultimately, with the what happens at the end.
Yeah, and for me, the note that I made was that it just goes to show, how much power the government or cops or whatever you want to call it, the authorities, you just say it that way. It shows how much power the authorities have when they actually decide to use it. And if they make you the target of that, man, man, you do not want to be there.
Yeah.
And
the eye of Sauron.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's exactly right. Yeah. I see you. Yeah. Yeah. It's not good. So, yeah. So,
the other thing I was going to say is that, imagine it was just some random person who got murdered or shot at. How much care would that,
Yeah. No, it would just go into Boyd's file, right? I mean, at the end of the episode,
that's right.
Raylan pulls out this file and talks about all the dead bodies and trail of destruction he's left in his wake, and it's like, why didn't you guys do anything about that before now?
Exactly.
You've got a whole file of this stuff.
Don't you remember? The government works for you,
right? Exactly.
Anyway.
So they are going to hassle and rough up everyone's life until they get what they want. And they're going to make it so that criminals can't do their jobs until they get Daryl Crowe Jr. And that includes Ava. So Raylan goes to the prison to meet with Ava at 4 a.m. And he rolls in, and she gets pulled out of Gen Pop, told that she's got a lice inspection or something at 4 a.m. to meet with Ava. He wants her to become an informant, and I have a little bit of a clip of that, so let's listen to that.
I should have known it wasn't a check for head lice at 4 a.m. I don't appreciate you upsetting my routine.
Cut your hair.
I've done a lot of things. What do you want?
A Confederate of Boyd's. Man by the name of Daryl Crowe Jr.
Being the way as I am, I don't know any Daryl Crowe Jr. Who's he?
A man at the top of my list.
What's that got to do with me?
I can't get him directly. Thought maybe you could help.
Why would I help?
Christian charity. And I can offer you a bump in commissary. Maybe get you a nice work detail.
So, you want me to, pressure boy to help you get your man.